Drawing things for complete strangers, but my parents will probably watch this, so I guess they're not our strangers completely. Bad art.
Yellow, and welcome to another episode of Bad Art, a video series where I like to draw some things and I talk some things. You can listen to things, you can watch some things. Bad art, yeah, bad art, yeah. Alright, sorry, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Lost myself. Okay, so today I will talk about Nintendo. If anyone has been keeping their finger on the pulse of games, of all things games, you will know that recently Nintendo has come out and recently dropped some bombs on the gaming industry. One of those bombs being that they are finally going to start developing mobile games for mobile devices. As usual, like anything else, there is a group of people who are all for this. There's a group of people who are totally against this. And there's the group of people who do not give two shits. And I am sorry to say that I am a part of the group who does not give two shits. Simply because one of the reasons is not just me, but we don't know what exactly this means. Like, are you going to be developing things solely for iPhones, or are you going to develop things for Android phones as well? Or are you making your own, like, network, like Nintendo Network, or your own mobile phone? I don't know. We don't know. So until there's more information on that, I can't really get excited for this news. Usually for mobile games, when they're getting developed, they're usually focused on Apple devices, and that's mainly because I guess the majority of the world has an Apple device now, whether it be a phone or a tablet or a MP3 player. Like, it's usually Apple. And I've also heard that it's easier to develop for that platform before everything else. And fortunately for me, I am an Android user. I have an Android phone and tablet. I do not use Apple products at all, not out of hate, but out of experience. So, let's just get that out the way. So until I hear that they're going to be developing for like multiple platforms and not just focusing on one, I can't get excited for it. Prime example is Hearthstone. I love to play Hearthstone, but there is a problem with Hearthstone where it started on PC and then they moved it over to iPads. And when it came time to talk about if it was ever going to come to like Android tablets, the only thing we got was, oh, we're working on it. We're working on Android. There was no like set date. There was no window for it. It was just that they were working on it. They've eventually came out like shortly after with the game for Android tablets, and now we're sitting and waiting for them to bring it to Apple phones and Android phones. So yeah, that's how it usually goes. So as far as like the games that they could make, I mean, they could go any way they want. They could either make original games, or they could make games that are already out now. I could see them making a endless runner with Mario characters, or but they actually have a good repertoire to make some really good mobile games. If you think back to the DS, when the DS first came out, and they were making a lot of games where you had to use the stylus and the touchscreen to play them, there were actually some good ideas. So that would be a good thing to kind of think about when you want to kind of figure out what kind of games they're going to make for it. Like games like Prince of Persia or Ninja Gaiden on the DS, how you control the characters with the stylus like that. Think along those terms, because they have gone on record to say that they're not going to make games with virtual buttons and D-pads, which is a really, really good decision, because those games on the phone suck. I mean, you're trying to do it, but I'm sorry, man, I cannot play a Mega Man game on my phone with virtual buttons and a virtual D-pad. It doesn't work for me. I need actual physical things to do that. So yeah, as far as games that they can make, one game that I would love to see them bring back is Meteos, and you should Google that if you never heard of it. It came out for the DS, and Meteos is pretty much like a Tetris / Match 3 game where these blocks will drop from the sky and you have to match the different blocks up. And once you match up like at least 3 or 4, it'll activate these rockets and send the blocks back up to the sky. And I think like the object of the game was to clear your screen of all the blocks, and you could play against other people and stuff like that. So it was a really nice upgraded version of Tetris back in the day. So I would love to see something like that. I could see them making a Clash of Clans type game, but with Pikmin characters. So there's a lot of ways for Nintendo to go with this. So I can't wait to see what they do. They have said that their first batch of games or first game should be out this fall. So I look forward to that. But at the same time, I can't get too excited for it just because I don't know what they're developing the games for yet. The other bomb that they dropped was a new hardware system, or just new hardware in general, and its code name is NX. Better than Project Cafe, but still not better than Revolution. I think they just need to develop a freaking console called the Revolution, because that was amazing. That was such a good name, such a very strong name for a console. But it's codename NX, and once again, we don't know what this is. Gaming media has been going on record and saying that this is a very good decision for Nintendo to make, because it shows their consumers and their investors that they are still in the business of making hardware. I highly disagree with the decision that they made to do this, because this is pretty much, to me, them announcing that they're working on new hardware called the NX is them throwing in the towel for the Wii U. Because anyone who knows about gaming development knows that the new system is always in development way earlier than it's announced. Like when the PlayStation 4 was announced, you could bet your ass that there were people sitting in the office in R&D talking about what they were going to do for PlayStation 5, okay? But Sony's not going to go up on stage and say, here's the PlayStation 4, here's the specs on it, and here's what it's going to do, here's what we're trying to accomplish, and if you like this, you'll be very excited for the PS5. They're not going to do something like that. And that's pretty much what Nintendo has done with this announcement. I know for, like, speaking just generally for myself, I don't have a Wii U, but I actually was planning on getting one possibly in May, because there's a game coming out called Splatoon that I'm really interested in playing, and that's also when E3 is, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to announce a price drop for the Wii U at E3 or around E3, because I'm waiting for that baby to get down to about maybe $250. That's like the sweet spot for me. I refuse to pay $300 for that system. And I'm not going to get into it too much about Nintendo and my beef with them as of late. I'll say that for a different video, but I'm just saying right now, like, I don't want to spend $300 on that system. I don't think it's worth $300. $250 tops. Like, that's the sweet spot for the Wii U at the moment. As far as what the NX is, it could be anything. Like I said earlier, it could be a Nintendo mobile device, which could be exciting given that it's actually for a lot of different networks. It's not just like, I don't want them to announce a phone and be like, oh yeah, it's exclusive to AT&T. Like, I don't want that. It needs to be for everything. It could also be just a new home console. It could be the portable console hybrid that a lot of people have been asking for, myself included. I think that would be a really good thing for them to do. I honestly think that it could be a streaming box. I think that Nintendo, they have gone and said that it's going to be revolutionary, it's going to be innovative, it's going to continue to push the boundaries of games and stuff, like they've always tried to do. And I think that the next step in gaming is just to have a streaming box. I'm not excited for that. I personally still like to buy physical things. I still buy CDs. I still buy like DVDs and Blu-rays. I still buy video game discs. Like, I like physical things. So I'm not really looking forward to the digital age. But I think that's where they would go with it. And if it is a streaming box, I could see them doing what PlayStation does with their PlayStation TV, where you could stream the Wii U through that box and play it on the big screen. And you could also stream the 3DS and play that on the big screen. And then when they come out with new games for the NX, then those are the games that you download and stream or whatever, like directly. And for people who don't have for people who don't have internet access to do the streaming or downloading, like they'll just release little cards with codes on them to put in, or just like put the game on SD cards. You know, they seem to be very into doing that kind of stuff. So I could see them doing that, but we don't know what it is. And they said that they're going to announce, or not announce it, but give more information about it next year. People don't know when it's coming out. I think if they're announcing it, or if they're going to talk about it next year, then don't be surprised if it comes out in 2016 or maybe early 2017. But like I said before, this is really hurting the Wii U. You know, it's taking attention away from the Wii U. You know, because now everybody wants to know what the NX is. Like all the excitement or all the buildup that they were trying to do for Wii U has been killed. You know, because they failed to really push a lot of consoles with not Zelda, with Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. And I mean, it pushed a little bit, but not to where they wanted it to. And, you know, Zelda just recently got delayed. So now the question is are they going to do like they did with Twilight Princess and make that for the NX as well as the Wii U? Or are they just going to shift it over to the NX? Like, this is the type of things that are really like distracting from the Wii U. So that's why I look at it as them throwing in the towel. So yeah, what I would like to see from the NX, if it is an actual like console and not just something small, if it's something really big, like if it's the next step for them, it's time for achievement systems. Damn it, I don't care if you got to use stickers, stamps, paintings, coins, whatever. I need some kind of recognition when I'm playing Zelda. You know, like bam, you know, sticker, you found the Master Sword, you know, go on the adventure now, you know, and it goes up and people can see it and they're like, yeah, this guy is running through Zelda, you know. They need that. They need a unified network. You know, I'm tired. I think they recently have started making it to where if you buy a game for a 3DS, it's also on the Wii U, or it transfers over to the Wii U or something, like, just in case you lose your 3DS, or if you lose your SD card that the game is on, like, you at least have that network backed up to where you don't have to lose it forever and rebuy it all over again. So they need that. They definitely need third-party support. They need to like make a system that is like, if they're not going to keep up with, like, if they're not going to make exact specs of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, at least make something close to it, to where third-party developers still want to make like downgraded games for your system. Like, they need that support. You know, they can't just keep getting by making these Nintendo games, because they don't come out nearly as fast as they should, and they're way too far in between. So, you know, it's like, just make something, you know, have some juice. And when you get some juice, use the juice. One of the things that pissed me off about the Wii U was when it came out, they were like talking about how it was more powerful than the 360 and the PS3. And, you know, they're making games like Yoshi's Woolly World, which is like a side scroller, or Tropical Freeze, you know, which are these side scroller games. And I'm like, you know, use the power of your system and make a full-fledged 3D game, like along the lines of Mario 64, okay? Stop making these little half-bite 2D side-scrolling games, you know? I mean, even Treasure, or Captain Toad had like a nice little perspective where it was like kind of realizing some worlds, you know, putting you in that 3D space and kind of making you feel the world that you were in, you know? Like, use your damn hardware, Nintendo, for Christ's sake. And that's about all I got for now, man. So that just brings us to the piece that I'm making today, the latest to add to the roster of bad art, which is Nintendo just going to the cloud, man. Like I said, I would not be surprised if they came out with a streaming box that streamed everything to it, or, you know, you could stream the older systems to it. Is Nintendo finally taking that step into the cloud, making that unified network? So all the big characters are packing up their bags and they're getting on that escalator and they're moving up to the sky. And you see the PS4 and Xbox One off in the distance flying around with each other, doing dog fights, and Nintendo just slowly making that descent up to the cloud, trying to catch up to them, and I don't care what anybody says. I know Nintendo has gone on record to say that they're not competing with these consoles and stuff and what they're doing, but what they need to understand is that you don't have to follow in their footsteps exactly, but you need to take something from them and improve what you're doing. Like, I don't mind the Wii U being less powerful than the new systems, but I do mind that, you still don't have a viable network to run on. You still don't have like voice chat. You don't support that. You still have these stupid friend codes that you do to add friends to your friend list. You need to step your game up. You need to stop acting like it's still the 80s, with cartridge games and stuff, man. Step into the future and, revolutionize yourself. Evolve, Nintendo. It's time to stop the old ways. You need to improve on them, So that's going to do it for me today. You know what to do. You can find me on Twitter at the Chewels, TheeChewels. I appreciate the views. I appreciate you taking your time to come through and listen to me ramble and watch me scribble some stuff on a piece of paper. So like, dislike, do what you like. If you have any opinions, whether you agree or object to what I'm saying, leave a comment and let's have a discussion about it. Tweet me, email me, do whatever you like. And that's gonna do it, man. You guys take it easy. You be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one. That was bad, but it could have been worse. And I'm out.